everyone, and welcome to American Scouser pre-match show. So far, so good today. It doesn't get any better than this. There's no
We
way in
can
hell I
do.
was waking up for the City game. But we see a Fulham comeback against Chelsea. We just enjoy some United comedy. So all we have now is the boys taking care of business, getting the 3 points. Sergi is here, Brian is here. Even more importantly, the lineup is here. Brian, we'll start with you on this one. Nunez starts up top, and Jones basically coming in for Szoboszlai. Those are the two big changes. What do you make of the 11?
I don't think you're going to see unintentionally seeing Jones and seeing Szoboszlai and Nunez in the same lineup. We kind of talked about that a little bit last week and stuff like that. I think that this type of with the low block and stuff like that Leicester's going to do right there, this is going to fit perfectly with Curtis Jones. And I imagine right there he's probably going to get in sometime in this match right there, but more likely Elliott may get into this match more so than him. But yeah, I'm good with it. I think that this is what the intention was, to have Nunez come at them and run at them and create his normal chaos that he does. And we'll probably see Diaz or Jota on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Nunez is going to have to get his chances and make the most of them, Sergi. He gets one today, and it would be a big one because, honestly, like, if things go well, he gets his goals. Good for him, good for us, gets more rest to other players and stuff like that. Let me answer this way. Would Nunez start today if he were not playing again on Sunday?
I don't think Nunez starts today if Diaz's dad didn't have a heart attack. So that's my theory. But
is that confirmed, by the way, the rumor?
Yeah, I've seen some news articles publishing it. So
he's on the bench, like he's listed on the bench.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen on various reports. It's still not confirmed by the club or anything. But either way, yeah, I mean, it's you've got to take your chances, I guess, and it's what better chances than playing one of the worst teams in the league. We already played Man United, so we can't play him again today. So Leicester has to do, and yeah, it's me and omens, but it's just like it's like that season we won. We just finished. We just won the World Club Cup, and then we played Leicester on Boxing Day, and we beat them, and we just knew we won the league that day. It's everything's going towards that. The president being the same president as last time, and I'm just I don't know. I'm just waiting for
technically
pandemic.
He doesn't take over, so like
yeah, but I'm just waiting for yeah, I'm just waiting for pandemic to come and kick me in the nuts and like just ruin everything.
I actually remember that Leicester game because I think it was, and that was away as well. And it was supposed to be a tough fixture. And I think it was one of the best games we played that season. Actually, I just remember that game. Trent had like a ridiculous game, Bobby, and stuff like that. But Brian, I guess same question to you. Or are you shocked that like Jota is not, or is he not ready? Because you said about causing chaos, but I always feel like Nunez is better suited for teams that are not a low block. And we kind of expect Leicester to be a low block today. So, or is it just a matter of Jota is better off the bench at the moment?
I think Jota's better off the bench at the moment. I think that this is more, and like you said earlier right there, Nunez needs to get his minutes in, and these are type of matches right there he's going to get his minutes in at the moment. And I think that Jota will be a much more useful asset against West Ham after what I saw today right there for their match right there. I think that's probably a much better pace match for him to go on. So yeah, I think that. I mean, I have no issue with Nunez right there if he does what he's supposed to do. I mean, that's the I guess it's the catch that all of us have right there. But no, I mean, Nunez has to play and he has to get minutes. He's valuable to the squad for what he does and how he sets things up. So I mean, I look for a great Mo day right there with Nunez on there because they seem to kind of click very well right there on matches like this.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, Mo has gone out of his way to say that, he likes playing with Nunez. And it's probably his, like, movements. And especially Mo has become this creator now. So I'm sure that helps in terms of – I just worry that, against a back line like this is not the ideal matchup for me. I mean, like, against, for example, Spurs in the second half, that's why I thought, actually, he would come in earlier. I thought that was the ideal Nunez matchup right there. A game like this. But, hey, I mean, if he takes his chances – and, like takes care of business today, I mean, that's all like really what we want, Sergi. But let me ask you this. What is the biggest concern going into this game, being taken over for me as the worrier and the paranoid scythe over here. See, like when people come, Nick, don't do this to me, because the more these predictions we make, it always flops, unfortunately. But I mean, it's probably on paper a realistic prediction, knowing how Leicester is, knowing how we are. But you see, it's in this league over and over and over again. Nothing is won on paper. But Thursday, your biggest concern as we head into the match.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. When we get overconfident, we did it with Southampton, we did it against Forest. It's one of them, and it's like, Leicester, if they're going to make a statement, today's the day to make a statement, and just balls everything out for us. So far, everything's gone perfect for us, and we just got to play our own game. And we're going back to Nunes. Leicester got keeper making his debut. I mean, everything is in his favor today for him to have a big game, and for us to have a big game. So it's just it's making me nervous, the fact that we're overconfident, or we should be overconfident. So yeah, I'm like you. I'm just trying to be a Ralph Hosenthal and just calm down.
I mean, the thing is, in an odd kind of way, Brian, I feel a bit more confident going into these games as I used to in the past, because the system is not as, I guess, like energy and like psycho energy based. And I know in the past, we had like a tough time like getting up for games like this. You know what I mean? And so when the energy level dropped, since the gameplay was so reliant on it, you could kind of see like a huge difference on the pitch. You were like, oh, they're not there today. They're not there. I mean, that's why we would always concede the first goal and stuff like that. It almost feels like, because it's a bit more control based, the system itself is a bit more calm. That ridiculous, are they really up for this game thing seems like not as big of a factor. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but
I mean, I get what you're saying right there, because I mean, I think the methods that you had with Pep Linders and how he set up squads right there were a lot different from how Arne Slot does his stuff. So yes, control, but also right there, it's a calmer, it's a thinking type of on the pitch right there, where tactics are always getting rethought, reprocessed, versus the Gegenpress and high press that we always ran with the Klopp and Linders the management system. Not to knock that right there, but I think that it really ran quite a few players right down to the ground, and I don't think you're seeing the same situation. I mean, our injuries that we have this year right there are not the same exact muscle injuries and things that we had from the last seasons. These are like actual legit injuries that have come up. So I think that it's I'm a lot calmer watching this than I have the past couple of years. I mean, I'm not going there and actually going through and pacing the grounds and burning holes in the floor like I used to right there. Or as what Sir Z does right there, gobbles up blood pressure pills and stuff like that. I think the only one I did was like last week toward the end of the Spurs match right there. I was starting to get a little nervy after that right there, because we just kind of like just our substitutes didn't work out the correct way and all that. But I think that the thing with watching Slot have the ability to change things on when he sees something that's not working. He's okay to say, guess what? I'm gonna pull you out, like he did the Kwanzaa. People had a lot of problems with that, but you know what? He saw the kid wasn't gonna make it right there, and that type of, and what we were doing, pulled him out, put somebody else, and put Kanate in, and the rest has been written there. So it's not just steady, and just keep on doing the same exact thing, kind of like what you see at Spurs right now. We don't have that right there. We actually could change, and change is good sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the biggest positives, at least for me. Whereas in the past, there is a lot of like I do say, okay, when we get to the halftime, we will kind of, like change some things. And it's not just about we will re-energize and we'll go full speed again. It's not like, like, oh, Klopp is going to yell at me at halftime and like get him running again or something like that. It's more like, the little subtle changes that will happen, whether it's in the substitutions or something we do in the game. When we talk about rotation, though, Sergi, the biggest issue, obviously, due to availability, is the back four, because we can now rotate, especially in a week like this where they're going to play constantly. This would have been I kind of expected actually cost us to start and Robertson to get a rest. How important is it that we do try to put this game away if we can, so that you do get Costas and you do get Kwanzaa in and get some, rest on these legs, because we play again in 3 days.
Oh yeah, 100%. And especially, I mean, it helps that this game is at home. We got the fans backing us. I mean, like I say, everything is pointing for our favor, like to just walk this game. West Ham away is going to be hard, and I think that's why Sabozza doesn't play today and he gets rested for Sunday. If we can just nip this game in the bud early, and that's what I love about Slot, that he doesn't wait to half time to make changes. He does it in game, and if someone's not performing, you might tweak the formation or tweak where he plays players. And even when he brings on subs, like he was saying the other day, that we thought Jota came on as a forward, he didn't. He came on as a midfielder, and like we never saw that until Slot actually pointed that out. And that's what I love about his in-game management. And he sees things that we kind of like every week. We think, oh yeah, he's going to play Endo today just for rotation, but he won't. He knows what he's doing, and he just things that have made him learn the hard way. But fortunately, it hasn't really cost us. But yeah, getting this game nipped in the bud early, so Robertson can come out, give Simicaz a run of minutes, Kwanzaa a run of minutes. It's a good game for both of them to come on, on paper for sure.
I think especially we've been talking for Kwanzaa in terms of, like he needs to play to get the confidence back. That's the only way to get the confidence back, especially as a defender, especially as a young defender. That's the only way to do it. So he does need minutes. Looking at Leicester. Daka is starting up top as opposed to Vardy. Good thing, bad thing for you, Brian?
I think Vardy's legs are about run out anyway, right there. I mean, he's a show of what we thought of that Vardy party thing that we saw a couple seasons ago.
He gets to throw a party though.
He does that well right there. But I mean, we're not going to see him going through and actually running us like he did a full sprint into their brand and like he did it that the season when they won the league right there, where he did that, like this basically did us himself. I mean, I'm fine with it. It's again, Daka's okay. I mean, again, this is a championship side in a lot of ways right there. I mean, I don't see the. I mean, Jordan Ayew is aging. This is not a great side. I mean, they're where they're supposed to be at the moment.
How about their manager? Obviously, they have the new manager. Anand will tell me on Fridays. Of course, that was like 2-3 weeks ago. We'll see what he says tomorrow morning. That Ruud is the next best manager, the new Mourinho, if you will. What do you make of that? I mean, in some ways, I know it's a cliche about having a striker as manager. Usually, kind of like that's their focus, just by nature and stuff like that. Obviously, they have assistants and everything like that, but Cody is back. I think that's one of the bigger changes over there. He is that kind of guy that is not, the greatest, but can really give you fits because everything will freaking bounce off of him. It's one of those Nat Phillips-like guy, for example, that, might not work for Liverpool, but it's kind of a bitch to play against. Z.
Yeah, 100%. And his shithousery. You wouldn't think he's a Liverpool fan. He loves to score against us, dive in the penalty area. We just don't know which Connor Cody is going to turn up today, but he'll probably give the game of his life today. Nistelrooy, I think he did well at Man United because he was Man United. And I think the players there obviously see him as a legend and kind of maybe up the game for him. But for Leicester, he's got no ties with Leicester. It's like these players, I don't see that the new manager balance of trying to go out and work for him as a Man United player would do for Nistelrooy, or how we did for, Dalglish or whatever, at the beginning of his second tenure. So, yeah, he did okay with Man United, but so did Solskjaer. And look how that turned out. And it was just because the fans were on the legends. He's a legend. We'll support him, but he doesn't do anything for Leicester. Leicester fans aren't bothered about whether it was Nistelrooy or anyone else. It's just another manager that's probably going to get fired by the end of the season.
I mean, to be fair, he did it against Leicester at United, so there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like 2 Leicester games back to back where he did well, and then before you know it, he's a Leicester manager. I mean, that's a good point. I don't know if, like, I mean, heck, I don't know, man. Like, some of this younger generation, I don't even know if they remember watching Rude or what they were, and if it kind of like makes them work any harder. I think it's just like a different voice, probably, Brian. You think? I mean, obviously, if it was this first game or something like that, you can kind of maybe expect to see more of an impact, but it's not his first game. The bounce has already bounced away, you would think, by now, because obviously they've had some really poor scores since he took over.
Oh, absolutely. And I hate to see Ruud Van Nistelrooy play against us. Even when it was terrible to watch him play against us.
Yep.
You know, bad memories. But you know, I mean, it's strange right there with forwards being managers. So that's a odd thing. I mean, because I think that they, like you said right there, they focus on the things that they know. I mean, and so it goes towards that one point. But again, like Sir Z said, he's not a player. He's not a Leicester player. He has really no ties or no commitment to that side. I mean, he's doing a job. I mean, I think it was kind of a weird hire for him right there. I mean, especially when you have players when you have people like that are still out there that are about that level right there, where you could get a good manager and that could kind of bond your side up right there and put points. Because the problem is, it's not scoring. It's not them scoring. It's them getting scored on. I mean, and he's not organizing a defense right there very well with them. And watch today right there, they go there and have like the defense of their life. But you know, that's kind of what happens sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, there was people out there who you could probably put in that spot right there. I mean, how's Graham Potter not have a job right now? That's what I don't even comprehend right now, why he's still unemployed. I mean, this right here is a good job that he could play in right there. I mean, but I don't see how that the Van Nistelrooy effect is going to go. And I think, like Sir Z said, he'll be gone by the end of the season. I mean, probably once they go there and get submitted into that bottom three, he won't be there in the championship with them.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If Ten Hag doesn't get fired, it's not like they're going to be like, we got to go pry Ruud out of like freaking United. He would not even be in the conversation. It's almost like they got their butt kicked twice by him, and they were like, let's just get that guy. He beats us, kind of a thing, and they just hired him. But, I mean, I don't know. This is the kind of game, it's just a matter of like opening them up and getting that first goal. I think regardless of what happens, getting that first goal is going to be important, and then kind of like controlling it. But Jones, I guess, is going to be another topic. It's his 100th appearance today. What do you expect to see? I like him a lot better in this role, Sergi, as opposed to when he comes in for like Mac or Gravenberg and stuff like that. We kind of saw it in the Spurs game, him losing Kulusevski a couple of times. I mean, the second goal for 1 and then the third goal for 2, even though he didn't get the goal. He's wide open if Solanke doesn't get that touch. But what do you expect to see out of Jones? It feels like this is his kind of game where he's playing against a low block.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, just going back to Graham Potter point, I think he's not taking jobs because of the compensation he's getting from Chelsea. He was on a huge pay packet there. So next job he takes, he's going to forfeit that money. That's just me putting it out there. I don't know.
Sit at home and cash in.
Why not? Who's going to pay in that amount? But with Jones, yeah, I mean, it's a strong midfield either way. There's no pressure on him, I think. So, you know, again, I think our midfield will win the game for us. And obviously, you know, Jones on his day is one of the best players we have in the squad. So, yeah, it's against a weaker team on paper and at home. It's a great game for a lot of these players to come in and show, you know, why they deserve to be in our squad.
Yeah, Hassan says, how good is it? City dropping 2 points, Chelsea 3. I mean, at this point, I think we can stop watching the City games, right? So, I mean, we can stop following whatever, aside from enjoying the misery. I don't think you have to, like, did they win? Kind of a thing that we do. For example, we did with Chelsea today. It's kind of like Manchester United at this point to me, Brian, like looking at City scores. It's more like just for enjoyment more than like the title race. You would think, and Chelsea shows today that they're going to be inconsistent. So a win today. I know Arsenal has an easier fixture as well tomorrow. They play home to Ipswich. You would bet on them to win it. I know Saka's, I don't know, that kind of stuff. But every game you get, regardless of who the opponent is, every 3 points, gets you one match week closer to the end. So this is still a huge game despite all the points that have been lost.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this would be a 7-point gap right there if we win today right there. And then our game at hand right there, it's a 10-point gap if things stay the same. That's enormous right now. I mean, especially when you get to when we probably play Everton, which will probably be close to like around February time frame right there. I mean, it's enormous to have that those type of matches. I mean, those type of points going into the fixtures. But yeah, I mean, I don't care about City anymore. It's just, like you said, it's a pleasure to watch them now. I mean, to see that a player that they were depending on that much of a one player to go there for their entire setup right there. But there's like failure on every level right now with City, and it's amazing to watch. As far as Chelsea, like I said in Discord, you take Palmer out of that side, they're a mid-table side. Because their midfield is so discombobulated and they cannot come through and function at all. They depend on Palmer to come through to run their offense. I mean, and that's it. Because I mean, other than that, they're sitting about 7th or 8th right there in with City at the moment without Palmer.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that for a couple of teams, though, right? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out about Arsenal, but when Odegaard was out, for example, they were a shell of themselves. And you would think, if you don't have Van Dijk or if you don't have Mo, we would probably maybe not as bad. You feel like you look at the squads; it's a lot more experience in our squad compared to Chelsea, and that's why even when they were like right behind us, it just felt like they just don't have enough experience to compete. And I think they know the moment this pressure was going to come, the title conversation is going to come, that's when legs start shaking and the worries, like the pressure to get the 3 points and stuff like that. Until that, you're playing with house money. And when you play with house money, it's a lot easier. It's no stress and stuff like that. So Forest being up there is definitely a shocker because I think many of us had probably – I got to go back to the predictions. I know, Brian, you said he was going to be the first one to get fired in your prediction.
That's what I said, yeah.
I'm assuming like there were like probably like people who were like, choosing to get relegated and stuff like that. So it's like impressive to see them up there. But a win today puts us 9 points ahead of Arsenal with the games being even. Obviously, they got to play Ipswich away. We go to Everton. What do you expect to see as we head and get ready, Serzi? Give us a prediction on what kind of a game should we expect to watch. Do you have the medication out already? Waiting for halftime? What are we doing?
It's in the fridge. Yeah. I got to do temperature yet. I think going back to City, like being 10 points ahead of everyone else is not the same as being 10 points ahead of City back in the day. Like you knew City was going to catch up no matter what, but you just don't see that with anyone else. See Man United, they're fighting. They're going to be a relegation battle before they try to fight for a top 4 European place. So yeah, everything is just going for us, and today it's just the players just keeping their heads and just giving a professional performance. It's good stuff with Van Dijk coming out the last couple of days and his interviews done with Amazon Prime and telling us how much he loves the club and everything. And you read in between the lines, you think he's maybe signed. Like it's just everything is so far looking good. The Christmas tree came out from Salah's family yesterday, and everything is just everything is where it should be.
I know. Yeah, I mean, that thing looms in the background. I don't know. As I watch this team and as I see the performances, if they don't care, I don't care is where I'm at with that. I mean, it's not affecting performances. If you had poor performances and if they open the door for, I think, like somebody like me to say, oh, their heads are somewhere else, then I would worry about it. But the way they're playing, Brian, it's like, they're up for it. They're going full speed. Oh, wait, before you give us a score prediction, Serzi, before we jump to Brian.
I want to keep a clean sheet. 3-0.
3-0. Okay. How about you, Brian? What do you expect score-wise, gameplay-wise? What do you expect to see?
I say 3-0. Same thing right there. I don't think this. I think we're going to get 2 in the first half right there, then one in the second half. Because I think they're going to try to come back and claw for something right there. But I definitely think that it's a. I want a clean sheet. And I'm sure that after that Spurs match, Slot wants a clean sheet because I'm sure he was probably pretty disturbed in training about letting some of his goals come in.
Yeah, I agree. Hassan says he still says, at this point, I don't. 2 weeks ago, I was with you, Hassan. At this point, I don't, because the part that they have to figure out seems just way too big of a problem. It's
Too
just
much to
like going
fix.
ongoing. They're not a team. Yeah, they might be like, come back and win and stuff like that. Not to mention, they really have to bust their ass in the Champions League as well. They have tough fixtures there. I just think, that team is kind of like out of the race. 2 weeks ago, I was with you, but I'm going with the Timuchin special, the 3-1. Let's hope so. Hassan wants a clean sheet as well. Who doesn't want a clean sheet, people? But yeah, 2-0. I will love a clean sheet as well. I almost feel like I'm hoping in my, this is my ideal scenario is you kind of like run a 3-0. You change a lot of parts, get some rest to people, and then that's when you kind of make a mistake or like a miscommunication and you can't see that goal. That's my ideal 3-1 scenario. None of this coming back or 2-0 to 2-1 and all that's blood pressure bullshit. But we'll be back tonight. So the post-match will not be immediately after. Spencer's like, I could do either one, 3-0 or 3-1. Yeah, I'll take that as well. Either one is fine by me. But yeah, we'll be back tonight for the post-match. Figured right after the post-match, there's no point because a few hours later, the Thursday night crew is going to be in. Brian will be there. Mecca will be there. And then we'll probably have like a surprise person sitting on the third chair. Ooh. Or nobody sitting on the third chair. That could be the surprise. So we'll see that. So 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern one will be on for the post-match. Enjoy the game, everybody. Let's go get some 3 points, and this will make an awesome-ass Boxing Day when you look at the scores at the end of the day. So take care, everybody. We'll see you guys next.